Hello everyone, I'm Saravanen Anben Mauree, the Mandela Washington Fellowship 2024 from Mauritius. So I'm here today to give you a summary of our 7th day of the fellowship. Today we went to go and meet the Secretary of State of California, Dr. Shirley Weber, and her team, and this provided us with much inspiration for our work. Dr. Shirley Weber was a former professor, she was in the legislative, and now she's currently the Secretary of State for California. She has done an amazing job. She has promoted policies aiming for diversity and protection of minorities and their rights. She has been a source of inspiration for all of us. So as the Secretary of State for California, she is the keeper of the seal of the state, and she is also the Chief Elections Officer who oversees the proper election process at state level, at local level, and at county level.
I went for this position initially by the governor when our Secretary of State was elevated to U.S. Senate. And since then, I have been elected to the position. And it's a constitutionally elected position. There are 8 constitutional officers in the state of California. All of them are elected officials, elected by the populace, by the people. But none of us, we all have separate entities, separate constitutional offices. So that even though I work with the governor, I work with the controller, I work with the treasurer, we work with all the constitutional officers, all of us are independent officers who answer only to the people of California.
So the team in the Office of the Secretary of State handled many issues, notably the Legislative Reform Division, the Fiscal Affairs Division, and the Business Services Operations. Obtained their funding and also the registration of donors, both domestic and foreign. The Business Services Operations looked at issues including HR, procurement, as well as the Safe at Home program, which aims at providing protection for people who feel targeted or victimized. We also met with Regis Fair, the Deputy Chief of Operations, who oversees all the chiefs of division in the Office of the Secretary of State, and he talked about how they collaborated with the private sector to ensure that the economy was running smooth and a diversified economy to address the challenges faced. We also met with Tristan, the Chief for IT Services, and he talked to us about the measures they take for collaboration with other departments as well as security of IT systems at the office. We met with the chiefs at the Business Services Operations, and they explained us the different roles, notably for recruitment, and the different challenges they address, and how they help to support the smooth running of the Secretary of State's office. We met with also the Deputy of the Secretary of State, Janet Jackson, and she also gave us an overview of the office work and how they were going to work to help the citizens of California. We also had a site visit with the guide Sebastian Nelson, and this was a very passionate person about his job.
If we think of all of those employees as one body, as one human being, what does the State Archives do? What part of the body is that? It's the part of the body that remembers the past. It's about memory, so that's what we do. So,
interesting, and he was very passionate about his job. We had lunch with Cassandra Pai.
So welcome. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Are you learning a lot?
Yeah.
Do you like California?
Yeah.
Really? Why? Very diverse. Does it really? Okay. Have you been to DC yet? Or at least you haven't done that yet, so this is the first time. How do you like Davis?
Beautiful.
Amazing people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very quiet.
Clean. Very clear.
Yeah, you're sleepy. Okay. That's okay. All right, well, welcome here.
Thank you.
So I have some prepared remarks, because there are a couple things that Mary instructed me that I had to say, but I have to start with this. She always sends me bios, and so I looked at everyone's bio last night, and I just, yeah. There's a lot going on in this room. Doctors, a lawyer, several of you focused on land use planning, I read, sustainability, public health, but especially I noticed probably more than in prior years, several of you focused on climate change. And that's a lot of what our firm now does, which is a lot of work in the transition energy space. I'm just happy to see that there is a generation of professionals who are committed to save the planet. Because if we're honest, our generation, I'm putting Mary and I in the same room.
And she gave us a motivational talk. She talked about the COVID pandemic and the challenges faced, and we had a brainstorming session on the lessons learned from the pandemic and how it could help us improve our relations with our work, but especially with other people. She gave motivational tips on how to keep our morale, especially during challenging times, and how we should look after ourselves when looking after others, because this is what fuels us and this is what keeps us going. We also met with Eric Guerra, a member of the California Air Resources Board, and he talked to us about the different schemes that they implemented to improve the environmental aspect in California so as to ensure a better health of the citizens. Interestingly, he also talked about collaboration with African countries and how they help developing African countries to improve their environmental policies and help develop waste management policies to better the life of the citizens. We drove back to the UC Davis campus, and on the way we saw a magnificent scenery. We saw the Capitol, which we are going to visit tomorrow, and which we are going to get more information again. But we also saw the agricultural fields, the landscape, and an area which had
I'll open with this amazing scenery.
Capture floodwater. The first point is that democracy is a dynamic process. It is never stopping, and that we should continue to upkeep the values that define democracy, and we should keep our people aware of what the democratic process entails. Secondly, we've seen that we should work towards diversity, because the Secretary of State has made it clear in her policy that the people working with her should represent the diverse nature of the Californian state. Third is the respect for environment. Many of our countries are affected by climate change, and so we can learn from the benchmark set here in the state of California about environmental practices and policies, as well as schemes, and also promote collaboration between our different states so as to provide a better environment for our citizens. We have received many contacts from the different people who intervene, and also the different policies that have been implemented here, are very pioneering. We can inspire themselves from how they have been applied here, and maybe seek collaborations with American counterparts, especially in the state of California, on how to implement them in the local context. There are sectors such as agriculture, climate change, sustainable development, and all this can be a source of inspiration so as to better manage our local economies at home. Thank you, dear friends, for this summary of the Day 7. Please subscribe, like, and don't forget to follow our next episodes for our continuing adventure of the Mandela Washington Fellowship 2024 in UC Davis. Thank you.